What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV. We're going to talk about the best unlimited data plans here in North America from the four major carriers, T-Mobile and Sprint and Verizon and AT&T. Now, they're all different in terms of service and expectations and actually what they give you, and they're also different prices. So we'll talk about prices and then also what I think is the best service overall, price versus performance. So let's get into it. Okay, so Sprint was kind enough to break all the carriers down on their website. Now, a lot of these carriers have different types of unlimited plans. They'll have like two unlimited plans. One's like okay, and one is the best. We're going to talk about the best ones that they have to offer with really little to no caveats within those pricing plans. Now, when we look at this, you'll see Sprint Unlimited Plan, which they are showing promotional pricing, meaning that these prices will only last until October 31st of 2018. These prices are amazing, but they're only good for basically about a year. And then they're showing Verizon's, AT&T's, and T-Mobile's, and those are just their normal prices. So at first, we'll talk about Sprint's promotional pricing, which again is amazing. But other than that, we'll go show what their real prices are versus the other carriers as well. So right off the bat, if you have one line, we'll talk about one line and four lines because most people are either doing one line or four lines. So if you go off with one line right off the bat, Sprint is going to be $50 per month. Second place for that is T-Mobile, which is $80, and that includes taxes. So that Sprint's does not include taxes. So Sprint's will probably be maybe $60 a month, which brings it a little bit closer to T-Mobile's one line plan. And then you also have AT&T at $90 and then Verizon at $85. Now, what do you get with those unlimited plans? Now, if you look at the data allowance, they're all unlimited, but there's a couple of things that they hold back on. So first off, with Sprint, you get unlimited video and high definition up to 1080p, streaming gaming 8 megabytes per second, and streaming music 1.5 megabytes per second. So even though this is one of their better unlimited data plans, they're still holding back on some of that stuff there. And then high-speed data for most everything else is just completely unlimited with no throttling. Next up, we got Verizon. Now, Verizon gives you unlimited video, 720p video. So any videos that you watch are going to be throttled to 720p. And then if you have a tablet on this plan, it's going to be 1080p throttled. And then unlimited high-speed data for everything else. So they're giving you a little bit more high-speed data versus with less throttling than what Sprint gives you. AT&T has unlimited video at standard definition, typically 480p by default, but high definition streaming can be toggled on, meaning they have this thing called Stream Saver. All you got to do is go into the settings for each line and just turn that off. I have it turned off on all of mine. I think it's stupid, and I'm paying for high speed unlimited data, so don't throttle me. And then as again, unlimited high speed data for everything else. And then when you get lastly to T-Mobile, T-Mobile gives you unlimited video at 480p by default, but high definition streaming can be toggled on, same as what you get with AT&T, and then you get unlimited high speed data for everything else. So just based off, if we're not talking about price anymore, if we're talking specifically about the data that you're getting, you'd probably have to go with the best data you're getting is from AT&T and T-Mobile out of the four carriers because they're not throttling you so much versus what Verizon does with video, and then Sprint is definitely the worst with what they're throttling you at because they're throttling you with video at 1080p, with streaming gaming at 8 megabytes per second, and streaming music to 1.5 megabytes per second. Now, when we get down to the mobile hotspot, they all more or less give you the same 10 gigabytes of high-speed unlimited data plan. Verizon will give you 15, so they give you a little bit more, but the three carriers do give you, Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile, all give you 10 gigabytes. And then, like I said, Verizon give you 15 gigabytes. And then beyond that, if you go over those limits, Sprint will throttle you down to 2G speeds, which is basically not useful at all. We really won't be able to use much at it. Verizon will drop you down to 3G speeds. AT&T will drop you down to 2G speeds. And T-Mobile will drop you down to 3G speeds. So for mobile hotspots, who gives you the best mobile hotspot? It's obvious. It's Verizon. They give you 5 more gigabytes than anyone else. Unlimited talk and text. Everybody gives you unlimited talk and text. There's no caveats at all with that. And also eligibility. So with Sprint's Unlimited Freedom Plan, they are offering this promotional pricing above for new accounts with auto pay unlimited available to new and current customers. So you can be, it looks like you can be, from what it looks like, you can be new or current and get that. And then for everybody else, their plans are available to new and current customers as well. As for free things that you get, AT&T gives you HBO for free for the whole family. So if you like HBO, you can get HBO. T-Mobile gives you Netflix for free. And I don't believe Verizon or Sprint give you anything extra. As for actual throttling after you possibly hit a congested area, like what's the cutoff for unlimited data? So it is unlimited data, but if you read the fine print, T-Mobile is the best they start throttling you in a congested area at after 50 gigabytes for that specific line. That's a massive amount of data. Probably 99.9% of the people will never reach that, but 50 gigabytes, I know some of you can be like, I use 700 gigabytes a month. Okay, you're the exception, but ultimately 50 gigabytes is a lot. AT&T throttles you after 22, same as Verizon's 22, and then Sprint will throttle you after 23. And that doesn't always happen, it just has the potential that they will throttle you if you reach a congested area, whatever they deem congested. Now, just to go back to Sprint's pricing, if you look at my screenshot on the screen, I've designated what the actual prices are once this savings is done on October 31st of 2018, or if you just weren't able to get the promotional pricing. You're looking at $60 for one line, $40 for the second line, and then $30 for each additional line. So if you had a 4-family plan, you're looking at $160 per month, which is still the cheapest if you have a 4-family plan. And then second for that would be AT&T, and then Verizon and T-Mobile would be $200, but T-Mobile would ultimately be cheaper because there's no taxes involved. AT&T and T-Mobile would probably be tied because of taxes, because T-Mobile's price already includes taxes. So for price, for a family of 4 plan, you'd go Sprint is the cheapest, and then T-Mobile and AT&T would probably be tied, and then Verizon would be the most expensive. So that brings us back to now. Who's got the best unlimited data plan out of those 4 carriers? Now, I probably, and I've said it in the past, and they get a lot of press, and a lot of people that have them don't have good service with them, and I know some of you do. There's always the exception, and there's always the area that it works really, really well, but I would never, ever go with Sprint. Sprint, even though their prices are the best, they have some of the worst service and some of the worst customer service. You know, look online, talk to people, and most people that I know that have it are not happy with it. I know, like I said, I know there are happy people with it, so there's always that exception. T-Mobile, great service. They give you tons of features. They're always updating their service and their features and everything about it. They're always basically the trend setters versus everyone else. I still don't think I would go with them, and the reason being is because their coverage, as of right now when I'm recording this video, is still not as large and available as AT&T and Verizon. Now that leaves us now with AT&T and Verizon. Who would I go with? Now for me personally, I have AT&T. I would stick with AT&T because I like getting a new phone. I like buying phones that aren't necessarily have to be tied to that carrier, and Verizon's a lot better with it now. So are the phone manufacturers. For instance, I bought an unlocked Galaxy Note 8. And I can bring that to any of those 4 carriers. It's not just doesn't just have to be a GSM carrier. So that's the great thing about that, what we have now. So I would either go AT&T or Verizon, just based off that. If I had a family of 4, I would go AT&T just because it's cheaper. If I had a 1-person plan, I would either choose AT&T or Verizon just because they're within $5 of each other. Now, if I'm looking for value, obviously Sprint's the cheapest. They're the cheapest even with their promotional pricing. Even when the promotional pricing is over, they're still the cheapest. And other than that, if I was choosing between for value, if I would choose either Verizon or T-Mobile, I would go T-Mobile just because, again, T-Mobile is a GSM carrier. Unlocked phones always work with them, and it doesn't have to be a big name phone like a Samsung or an Apple just to be able to work with that. I can get a Chinese branded phone, bring it over to T-Mobile, and it will work. You can't do the same thing with Sprint so much. So that's my thoughts, guys. Let me know in the comments down below who you think has the best value versus service with what you get for your carrier. And also let me know which carrier you have. I'll be curious to know down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you down the road. Peace!